Hello everyone, this is Linda here. Thanks for tuning in. Today I am super excited to be sharing my pregnancy and birth testimony with you all. So please stay tuned and watch till the end. In the month of August 2021, we got married, and within a couple of months in the month of January 2022, we found out that we were expecting. Our hearts were filled with so much of joy and excitement, knowing that we're growing a little human inside of us. And with same excitement, we went to the hospital for our first checkup. But after we met the doctor, our excitement just faded away, because the doctors were so negative. They told us that we couldn't hear the heartbeat of the baby. We see a lot of abnormalities, and please don't announce about your pregnancy to anyone until 2 weeks. They said that our sac is lying lower. They asked us not to travel, to be under bed rest for a few months. This was really devastating because we were so happy and excited, but ended up being disappointed. So I remember coming out of the scanning room with tears rolling down my eyes, and I couldn't just do anything during that time. But while returning back home, one scripture came to my mind, that is Proverbs 10:22. It says, "The blessings of the Lord makes a person rich and does not add sorrow to it." So this verse really strengthened me. It's God who blessed my womb, and I'm sure He will take care of it. I don't have to worry. So this really strengthened me, and I just put my hope and trust in the Lord and started moving forward. So with so much of prayers, we just moved forward, and after a couple of weeks, we had to go to the hospital for our second checkup. And when we went for the second time, doctors did all the scanning. They examined me and they told me that everything was normal. We could hear the baby's heartbeat for the first time, and we were so happy and just praised Jesus during that time. So as days went by, I passed my first trimester, second trimester, and even third trimester. But as a birth date was approaching, something really stuck inside my heart. I grew very fearful. I was very nervous, thinking about how I'm able to bear this pain. How was everything going to be like, because I've heard so many people tell that labor pain is going to be like this. It's going to be so hard. You have to go through so much. It's like you have to lose life to get a life. So this really made me scared. But I remember I prayed for two things very strongly during my pregnancy, during the last few months. I prayed to the Lord, I need a painless delivery, which means I know it's not going to work, but I want you to ease my pain during my labor. And also I want you to give me a normal delivery. I want to be able to deliver within a few hours. So this was my prayer. I prayed very, very strongly, and I claimed God's promises over me and my baby. So things went on. My due date was on October 1st week, but it was our desire, a small request, that it will be good if we have our baby on 20th of September, because it was my dad's birthday. So we were praying for it, and my mom-in-law was very, very particular that she wanted my baby to be born on that day. So she prayed so much, and she came a few days before 20th. And she actually prepared me for birth. She took me for a walk, and she did all these home remedies to prepare me for birth. And yes, I was all preparing for birth. And on 19th of September, I had an appointment with the doctor. So without any contractions, I went to the hospital. And on the way to the hospital, I think just as I entered the hospital, I had slight contractions. That contractions was very, very light. It was very slight that I didn't even care about it. So I just went inside, and we told the doctor about this. We told my gyno about these contractions, and she told me that I was in active labor. She examined me and told that I was 1 centimeter dilated, and she asked me to get hospitalized. I was in a shock because I had no proper contractions. I had no pain, nothing. So I remember telling doctors that I don't have pain. I would come back to the hospital once I have intense pain. But the doctors told that I was in active labor, and she asked me to get hospitalized. So I remember coming out of the scanning room and just telling my mom and asking my dad and my sister about it. Like, I was so nervous, like I didn't know what to do because I didn't have pain, and it was so scary that doctors would induce pain and I would suffer a lot. So this was something that feared me. And but with hopes we got hospitalized. And after I got hospitalized, like around 11:30 we got hospitalized. And after I got hospitalized, I started with a little bit of contractions, like very slight contractions. I think every 45 minutes I started with contractions. So it kept increasing, like every 30 minutes and every 25 minutes and every 10 minutes I started to have contractions. So the doctors told me that they would not induce pain until I have pain. They would induce pain the next morning. But by the grace of God, I had natural contractions without inducing pain, and that was so surprising. Everybody in my room, like pregnant women in my room, they were induced pain, but still they did not have pain. They were almost a week old. Some people were almost 10 days old, were lying there in the hospital. But I just arrived in the morning. I started with intense contractions by evening. And I remember, my mother-in-law telling me that, you will have intense pain when your active labor is coming near. So you will have, your legs paining, your legs shivering, and you'll have your abdomen pain, your back aching. You will feel very strong and strong contraction. That's when you have to assume that you're nearing your active labor. So I was assuming when I have this pain, that means I am into active labor. But to be honest, I had no intense contractions. I had contractions that was very slight. I just had intense backache. So, but I was quickly dilating without having any strong contractions, and that was so surprising because I remember praying when I was pregnant that God ease my pain during my labor, and that's what God did. I couldn't feel so much pain when my active labor was nearing. So I was really wondering what's really happening. But within a few hours, I think I got admitted in the morning around 11:30, and by the next morning I was able to deliver a healthy baby boy. And another surprising thing was I was able to deliver my baby on 20th of September. That was on my dad's birthday. This was our desire, the baby to be born on that day, and God heard our prayers. I was so much happy, and all of us were so much filled with joy that is unexplainable. And my baby weighed around 3 kgs, and he was a healthy baby boy. This is our little champ. He is Zayden Jaws, and he's 5.5 months old, and he's gonna be 6 months soon, isn't it? Say hi, everyone. Hello. So, dear people of God, if God can do this to me, I'm sure He can do to all of you who's watching. If God can hear my small prayer, and if He can, fulfill my heart's desire, I'm sure He can hear your prayers too. So if you're watching, and if you're someone who is having tough times in your pregnancy, or maybe you are having difficulties in conceiving, or you've had miscarriages, or if you're having a complicated pregnancy, I encourage you to put your trust in God. Just pray the little prayer that God can answer. God can do impossible for you, dear people of God. Hold on to Him. Speak out God's promises over your life, or over yourself and over your baby. And if you do so, I am sure, 100% sure, that God is going to hear your prayers, because God has done mighty miracle for me, giving me this amazing cute little boy. I'm sure He can do to all of you watching. I'm sure this testimony would be a blessing to some of you watching. Thank you, and God bless.